Hey y'all, this is week 1. Thanks for joining us. Today we are going to make rectangular slab trays. So this is an example of a low wide one, and this is an example of a deeper one like this. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to need, let's gather our stuff. We have 2 1/4-inch thick wooden strips. We will need a rolling pin, preferably wooden, so it's a little bit absorbent. A piece of just standard printer paper, a needle tool, and either a rubber rib or a metal rib. All right, and then as far as clay goes, we're going to use 3 pounds for one of these. If you have a kit with pugged clay in it, one of these pugs is 6 pounds. So if we take one of these and just cut it right down the middle, there you go. We get enough for 2 right there. If you are starting with a 25-pound block, you're going to want to quarter it and then take one of those quarters and cut that in half. That'll give you 3 pounds. So we're going to start by wedging this. Just get this clay warmed up. You want to do this on a porous surface. So working from home, if you have one of our kits, we have provided these drywall boards that 2 foot by 2 foot wedge and work on one of these. So we got this wedged up. I'm going to smooth out the edges. And I'm going to bring my sheet of paper over here and start to pound this out in a rectangle that is similar in proportion to the paper. All right. Kind of reclaim those corners and flip it. We're getting close. This is nice and even, proportional to this. And now I'm going to throw this out a little bit on the table to get it closer. We'll do a couple this way, a couple this way. Like that. Now, as we get closer to our shape like this, I'm going to put these strips on either side and take our rolling pin. You want to be mindful to not saturate the rolling pin with water. So we're going to start in the middle and do one this way and one back. And that sticks it to the table, so we're going to pick it up and lay it back down. I've got a little bit to spare, so I'm going to go that way. Pick it up and reset it. A couple more that way. And we're getting close now. that. So again, start in the middle, out, and there it is. We like that. So we can remove the strips. I am going to put this on a drywall board now. So this is a 16 by 16 inch piece of drywall board. Pick this up, lay it down, get this centered in the middle. You always want to work on a porous surface. So before I trim the edges of this, I'm going to take a minute here. You can use either rib. I'm going to get this compressed and smoothed out. So this is what will be the bottom. We're smoothing and compressing. I'll pick that up, lay it back down, and I will do this side. This is now the top. Now we'll cut off the excess. Lay the paper over it, and then we're going to take one of these strips, back there, pull that one off. Extra. And now the top. All right, so all of this soft clay, this can be wedged back up and put back into your bag. That is still good for later. Now, we will remove this paper. And from here, we're going to take the wooden strips again, and I'm going to lay the outside edge flush with this and make a really faint mark. You don't even hardly want to pierce the surface of the clay with this. Do one there, just barely scribe the surface. So it looks like a bit like a picture frame. If you wanted to go deeper and have taller walls on this, you could come again inside of that and do another one. But for this first one, we'll start here. So looking at this, I'm going to find, in this section here, I'm going to find the middle of that, in the middle of this, the middle of that, middle here, like that. Now I'm going to lay my needle tool down from this inside corner where that frame intersects and cut through to that mark that I made. Start here. And then we pull out this little diamond shape. Alright, so we are ready for success. From here, we're going to let this set up for a little while. How long is hard to tell, but we don't want the clay to feel sticky anymore. So I'm going to leave this for maybe 20 or 30 minutes. There's a nice airflow in this room, so I know it's evaporating off the top. And this is a porous material, so it's also pulling a lot from the bottom. So we'll stop here and come back when it's ready. So I'm also going to make another one with taller walls, and we'll kind of speed through this one, but I did want to show you guys another option for form. So this has been wedged already. I'm just going to start pounding it out. Alright, so we can see now that this entire section will be a wall. This will be a wall, so will this and this is going to sit on a much smaller foot than the last one. So this will become more of like a rectangular serving bowl, and we can add handles at the end. So now our marks are going to go from this point to this point here. Because that's a longer line, I will use a straight edge. So this clay is nice and soft still. You can gather up these pieces, wedge that back up and bag it, and we can use that again later. Alright, so I have prepared another slab of clay here, and I'm going to cut this into strips. One of the things we want to do before we put the tray together is texture the rim, the edges, to add some visual interest and give a place for the glazes to play as they bend over that surface. So I'm just cutting some tests here. So we'll get some of these out of the way. I think it's real important to just play sometimes, try different things, experiment. So each one of these is the width of the edge of the tray. So I've got some things here. This is a serving spoon, and I like this edge here and the hole in it. So I thought maybe this could be interesting on the rim. So I'm gonna take this and roll it down like that. Maybe we could do staggered sizes and really let that central piece pop up. Yeah. So come low, go high. Do another one here. I've got a serrated knife here. I'm imagining, what if we came in like that? That adds a lot of visual interest. Got a clothespin here. Just trying to just think of things that people may have laying around the house, but the front of this can create a lot of interesting highs and lows. So I'm gonna alternate this as a stamp. And then where this one is vertical, I'll go horizontal here, vice versa. Another one, I've got a plastic fork here. See what we can do with this. Maybe imagining that this is the outer rim. And that gives me the idea of what if we come in with something, it's just a wooden tool with a nice edge on it up here. Maybe go high and low with these. So just doing it one way, that's nice. But I think we could also flip it around and maybe come back in and echo in between these. And Now this creates a thing where it starts looking like this is more about what we're not touching. It starts to create this like zigzagged zipper thing going down the middle. That one's real cool. So there's some different ideas. The zigzag, the fork, the clothespin, serrated knife, the back of the spoon. That gives us a lot to work with, but feel free to, try all kind of different stuff. See what you got around the house. Oh, this is another one here. So this is just a marker. So by repeating this, we actually get 3 circles. So we get the outer edge, the inner edge, and then the inside thing. Alright, so we're back to the first one that we did. I think for this one, I've decided on the paper clip. So I've got 2 in case one gets saturated and it wants to start sticking to the clay. I have come back with a rib, and where these lines extended onto here, I just erase those. It is okay for this line to stay here. This is going to become a fold, so those are okay. So I will start right here. I'm just alternating each time. You don't have to bury it too far. We're maybe going about 1/3 of the way into that thickness. Alright, so from here we have this stamped and textured all the way around, and probably the question is how do I know when it's dry enough? So what we're looking for is that this is bendable right here, that these edges are flexible, but it could also support its own weight. Part of that is it will also spin freely on this. If this gets stuck, it may be best to get it up off of there, flip your board over, and work on the other side. So from here, I have got a scoring rib and a needle tool. If all you have is a needle tool, we're going to come in here and really go into these edges. Make sure you get the top too. Lift that up a little bit so you're getting the whole thing. Like that. And I'm going to get these all scored first. If you have one of these, this may go a little bit quicker. And then I've got a few extra pieces of clay here. On these longer edges, I'm going to use these as props. So right along this line, we're going to angle this up, using your thumbs to keep the flat down and your fingers to turn this up. And then while I've got it there, put one there and one here just to hold it. And now I'll turn this side one up. So that you can see those are meeting right there. I'm going to let them open a little bit. Get some slurry. Get that nice and juiced up. Let's back up. And now, so my thumbs are on the inside and my index fingers are going to join on the outside. So I'm going to start low, and you're really wanting to kind of crush this inner edge like this. Work that out. So for now we're getting them mostly stuck, and we'll come back around and detail them in a minute. So this one's holding itself up just fine. Turn this edge up. That going. Join this edge. Now we'll put a couple props right here. And I'm just going to slurry this one while it's open. Comes up together. Start down low, crush that bottom heel on the outside. That coming up. So once you make that connection all the way around, this will hold itself up. Pull these. Alright, so as far as an initial pass, that should be good. Really work those tops. Sometimes it's good to let one go low and then take one and kind of roll it over. That definitely helps make a good connection that won't crack. Alright, so from here we're gonna come down to a lower view, and I'll show you how to clean these up. Alright, from here, this is still partially open on the back. So I'm going to lean over this, pick this corner up, and get in here and crush this edge together, like that. Then I'm going to sneak up under this with a rib and run it that way. And then run it back this way. So we'll do that to all four sides. So we've got these corners put together just how we want them. If you want a really tight edge, you can see how the corners are here and this kind of bellies out. I like that, but if you are a very angular person and you want to bring those up tight, you can run this all the way around and tighten that up a little bit, like that. I like that softness, so I'm going to bring that back. So once this is together and this is not stuck to the board, This is going to be a stopping point for now. We're going to pick this up for finishing details tomorrow. So I would take a non-clay boogery plastic bag and cover this whole thing. Get up under it. If you wanted to leave yours out for an hour or so, if you're doing this all in one day, that'd be fine. But we're going to go home for the night and pick this back up tomorrow. So we're going to wrap it up and just leave it like that. And finishing details is next. Alright, so we have given this a chance to dry now. It has a small bit of flex if I really push on it, but this is good to go. Alright, so first thing is we are going to flip this over and finish the bottom. So I have a towel that I have folded up to fit down in the middle of this, and it is taller than the rim. Alright, so I'm going to put this here and flip this upside down so that the edges do not have pressure on them. This is just hanging from the middle. So if I see any little openings on here, I'm just going to give them a little bit of water. And then I'm going to use a firm rubber rib, or you could use a metal rib on its edge to go around and smooth this up. So here we go. Alright, so we have this all smoothed up now, nice crisp edges. I know that they've been compressed, and not worried about those coming out or becoming undone during the firing. So we're going to flip this back over now, and I'm going to address these sharp edges and reinforce the corners. So for the edges, I'm going to get a sponge and get just a little bit of water on it, run over it a couple times, and kind of hold my fingers like that and just round those. Do another one here. Run like this, and I'll go all the way around like that. And then to reinforce these corners here, I've got just some extra clay. I'm going to pull off a little pinch like this, maybe a little more. And I'm going to take my serrated rib and score this up on the corner. Get a little bit of slurry. Go over that. Now I'm going to ball this up. You can make any shape you want. I call these knuckle bones. So they start fat in the middle, with kind of a central ridge, and then they taper out to the edges. That. So once I get it roughed in, I'm going to kick it back on itself like that. Start in the middle, right in the middle of that corner, push down, and then I'll do one at a time. So I'm using these 3 fingers, pushing down and tapering out to nothing as I go. Bring this one back. Same thing, using these 3 fingers now. Start in the middle. Taper out. So after I get all 4, I will come back with a sponge and kind of unify these surfaces and then just polish it up with my fingers. Alright, so we have got this wrapped up. Don't forget to sign these. I'm going to pick this up, just flip it over to your hand. I'm going to use a punch. Get any little clay bugs off of there. I'm just going to get a little bit of water and draw over that at this point. Alright, that is the finished product. So feel free to experiment with these. If you want to, make them taller, shorter, something in between, you can experiment with how wide that bevel is on either corner, and be thinking about what kind of glazes you want to use on this thing. This would hold slip or glaze beautifully to break over that texture.